Well, the summer of 73, 1973, was a busy one for the ZOUKA family. We took a 3-week vacation from Dallas and came back for the 1973 Christensen family reunion at TA-HA-ZOUKA Park. So we have a few shots of that. We really had a nice time there. From whence we went to Crofton for a while, visited Marlene's family, Crofton, Nebraska. We went on up to Bismarck, North Dakota, to visit our friends Jan and Howard Harmon. Howard and I were roommates before we got married. We got married within a few months of each other, and by golly, we've been friends ever since, still are. So we took a little John on up to Bismarck. He moved from Fargo to Bismarck when we went from Fargo to Dallas, and we zoomed on over to stop in and see him for a few days. Had a great time. Then back to Norfolk on the flip-flop, 108 South 8th Street. Spent a couple of days with Mom and Dad. Then on back to good old Dallas. Quite a vacation, quite a summer. So, one more thing here. I'm drinking out of my favorite coffee cup I got for Christmas here from my great nephews and nieces. Love this cup. It's got a handle that a man can grasp for change. You see that? It's not a teeny tiny handle, and it's got little figurines and names. Not figurines, figures, like they put on the back windows, the moms and dads do with their station wagon, to show the mom and the dad and the kids, you know. You've seen those little outlines. Well, I got them on my coffee cup. They wanted to put Uncle Tank on there, but I guess the cup company wouldn't let them put that on there, so they had to settle for Uncle Dick. All right, I'll take it. On with the movie. Looks like Lisa's getting her hair done in Dallas. This would be the 1973. Marlene's doing the dishes. Down in Dallas, 9958 Galway Drive. Yet Lisa's mouthing off about something. Maybe she didn't like the bright light. Here we are up in Norfolk, Nebraska, at TA-HA-ZOUKA Park for the Christensen family reunion. The back of Cousin Jack there. It's a Christensen family reunion. Last time all the Christensen kids, Grandpa and Grandma Jens Christensen's kids, were together for a reunion. There's Cousin Doug, the red muscle shirt. Doug Mansky. Some of those folks changed a little bit. There's Jimmy Roberts. Aunt Mary in the red shorts, Mary Grafe. There's Aunt Tootie. Oop, Judy Reeker, sister-in-law, just went through there. There are the old guys, well, kind of the old guys. Stepbrother Buck is on the right, and Uncle Leonard, Uncle Al, and Dad Reeker. Over there sitting together. There goes Uncle Leonard. You can tell him by the bald head there from the back. Mousie just showed up, Cousin Marlis. Everybody's going over to give her a hug. She came from Jessup, Pennsylvania to the reunion, and nobody'd seen her in quite a few years, so it was quite a treat to have her come back. And there are all the kids. My mom on the left, Loretta and Lorraine, the twins, and Aunt Mildred, Uncle Don, Aunt Mary, the youngest. She's only 5 years older than me, and she was more like a sister to me. We were raised in the same house. And the oldest one, Helen Louise, Aunt Tootie, we called her, in the middle, and Aunt Bonnie over there on the left in the bottom row. Poor Uncle Don, he was the only boy out of the whole crew, all raised in Windside, Nebraska. Before and during the recession, all the way through the Second World War, and Grandpa and Grandma finally ended up in Wayne, and the kids are spread all over now. Let's see, I think they're all gone today. And I don't think any of them are still alive. Aunt Murray was the last to go. Quite a bunch those people were. They raised a lot of hell in their day. Aunt T just jumps right up here. By golly, she's raring to go. There's that Mary with one of the little shavers. TA-HA-ZOUKA Park was quite a place. There's Mousie. Real name was Marlis, but when she was born, I couldn't say Marlis. It came out Mousie, and the name stuck. And there's her older sister Jeannie, Miss Platte County in 1960, right there. And the family there with their own version of a softball game. I believe that's Jean there. Cousin Jean, the center. One of the girls was really hooking it around there. Maybe Jenny.
Kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. There we've got almost a strikeout. Oh. Cousin Todd Mansky on third base. Doug and Larry. Larry's out in center field. Doug Mansky, Larry Holloway. I think he just flipped the suburb.
Oh, well.
Where Todd took off to there, I couldn't tell you. I must have missed the ball, maybe. Had to go shag it and bring it back in. Doug's waiting for a fly ball. Pretty good shot of Todd. You're really whacking that softball. Oop. Todd's having a hard time hanging on to that ball. Cousin Gene Hendricks there, doing the pitching. There's the Sandal family. Last time they were all together too. Kenny, Jeannie, Marlis, or Mousie. Uncle Bud's got a Aunt Bonnie and Lori. Uncle Bud has a hook there for a hand. He lost his hand in a high wire accident when he worked for the Power Commission, putting up high lines. Fell 40 feet in that particular accident. Somebody didn't pull the switch, evidently. There the Manskys. The Mansky family, I believe. Uncle Leonard back there waving. Uncle Al met and eat Bugle. Uncle Al was kind of a cut-up always. There's that Mary sitting there talking to the family members around the table. One of the little girls didn't look too happy there. Did a lot of sitting around chatting, unbeknownst to them at that time. Uncle Don had spiked the punch, and they were all getting pretty happy. I think they could tell from their headaches the next morning what he'd done, but right there, when this shot was taken, they had no idea. Uncle Don was always doing stuff like that. And Mary and Cousin Phyllis Holloway, Hendricks, and I think that's Mom, and she's holding somebody's baby. Don't believe it was her. This is 73, so Tommy, he'd have been 11 years old. So it wasn't Tommy she was holding. There's Uncle Don. He had a Polaroid. So as you know, Polaroid still pops up once in a while. His girlfriend or wife, Sherry, there. Now they got married in this time frame somewhere, but I don't remember exactly when. Now we're up in Pierce, up in my high school town. I graduated in high school in Pierce. It's on the corner by Ralph's Standard Station, right on Highway 98. There's the water tower. Me and Friskers were going to paint that one time. We put in a bid to paint it, but somebody else got it. There was the Conoco station right across the street from Ralph's Standard. And a view down Main Street, down the main drag. Nice little town, Pierce was. There's Ralph's Standard. I believe I was getting some work done on the car there. That's the station wagon in the service bay. I don't know, remember if it was tires or an oil change or what it was. There's their old fire truck that the firemen refurbished for something to do, I guess. There's our high school gym. Played a lot of basketball in that gym. That was built in 1955, so it was still pretty new when I graduated in '60. Behind it is the old school building from some time back in the 20s. That's gone now. So is the football field. This was right beside the schoolhouse. There's the schoolhouse in the background, looking from the east toward the west. And the press box, which wasn't there when I was in school, that was new at the time. Highway 13 going by in the background. Back there is the elevator, the Pierce elevator. I'm going to zoom in on this drain pipe there coming out of the side of the building. One cold winter day, I built that back about '62. Welded her together when I worked for Blyau Construction Company in Norfolk. Came up there and about 0 degrees or colder, we hung out there on a rope and welded that thing together. There's a Liberty Bell. We used to play that whenever we'd win a game, ding that sucker back and forth. So it got dinged a lot back in those days. I don't know what it's like now. Highway 13, go straight south of 13, 6 miles, you'd get out to our farm. There's a shot of the high school building. I believe that's the principal's office up there that we just zeroed in on, coming out of. There's Mom and Dad Reeker. I think Dad's wearing my hat there. My Stetson that I got when we visited Bud and Bonnie down in Stillman or Stillwater, whatever that town was. This is at their home at 108 South 8th Street in Norfolk. They're clowning around a bit there for the camera. Everybody's got a little hand in it, that's for sure. Now we're in the alley out back and showing off our skills on the bicycles. I think that was probably Mom's bicycle. Tom was 11. You'll see his later on in these sequences, but that's me riding the bike. Richard Jugel III, yours truly, with his Texas cowboy hat. I had a 357 6-gun too, but I don't remember if I took it on the trip with me or not. There's Uncle Don. He was staying with Mom and Dad at the time, in transit between jobs or locations or something, and there comes Mom. Well, she rides that baby like a natural. Here, I think you got Tommy himself, zipping down the road. It's a little big for him there. Even Dad Reeker took a hand at the, I was going to say wheel, but I guess a hand at the handlebars. There's Marcy, Uncle Don's stepdaughter. Dad's checking out the moisture there in the soil, I suppose. This is out the Fralix, family friend the Fralix. I think that's that Leon there. There he is, there's Leon. Here we got somebody pulling in. There's Lynn playing with the dogs, and Jimmy Fralick. Is that maybe that bus? Janice's first husband on the right there. Didn't see it very well.
Dogs playing.
Yeah, Lisa's up there watching the dogs play. Had a big yard, nice big yard there on the farm, family farm, the Fralix did. It's right on Highway 81. Just a little southeast of Pierce. Due south, a couple miles from Weetown.
Must be me.
Yep, there's Mom Jugo. Now we're up in Crofton at Marlene's home place. There's her brother there. There's a sister, Dorothea, and her mom, Beata. They're having a little visit in the kitchen, it looks like. Probably gossiping about something. Roger, brother-in-law Roger Jansen, the Jansen family. And the kids are swinging in the swing sets in the park next door. I believe that used to be your dad's land, and he sold it to them for the swimming pool and for the parks and things.
That it was.
Yeah. It's just so that it was right next door. It's a pretty new swimming pool that year. Just been built, I think. There it is in all its glory. There the girls are, and Mom Jugel, Arlene Ann Meyer Jugel, right there with the kids.
Ron and Shelley.
Yeah, Ron and Shelley, Lisa and Lynn.
We're looking for 4-leaf clovers, I think.
Is that what you were doing?
I think so.
Lisa's in the wrong place there to be looking for 4-leaf clovers. There they are at the pool. Just having a good time. They like visiting Grandma. Both Grandmas. Mom and Dad Meyer sitting out in their front yard. There's their garage, barn, workshop. Right behind it was a neat old barn. The kids are having a picnic, I guess, in the front yard.
I think they got some kittens. It looks like Lisa's got a kitten.
Yeah, they do. And a dog. Back in those days, dogs weren't on leashes. They just kind of wandered around all over town, these little towns. Everybody knew them. And there's one there.
That's ours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, got her. She's tied up. Must have been afraid she'd run off or something. Now we're headed up to North Dakota to Bismarck. We stopped at a roadside display along the way to check out that bison. Kids called it a buffalo. The early trappers called him buffer. I don't know if that's the same attraction or not, but they're trying out one of the covered wagons. Remarking to each other how much fun it would have been back in the old days to ride across the prairie in one of those suckers. We did not share their opinion. And there's our friend Howard. I always called him Harold. His home up there in Bismarck. His little kids, Howard and Lauren and Christine, playing with Lisa and Lynn. Swing set in his backyard. There they are. He's got them all on his knees, sitting around him. Pretty good covey of kids. Howard and I were roommates before we got married up. Got married about the same time. Both moved to Fargo together to work at IMT Information Management Technology, Inc. And he stayed in North Dakota when I went off to EDS. Went from Fargo to Bismarck. There's Jan, his little woman Jan, going in the house to get some more ice or something probably. Here we are at the top of the Capitol building, looking out around Bismarck. Pretty flat around there. You can see a long ways from the top of that Capitol building out there in the plains. There's there are some of the historical pioneers, I guess. Yeah, it says pioneer family. There she is. They call it the Prick of the Plains out there, the locals. Down here at the Nebraska Capitol, it looks a lot the same. We call that the penis of the prairie. There we got to see some real live buffalo, too. Out there at the Bismarck Zoo. Yep. Not many left after the old buffalo hunters wiped them out. There we got the we got the 3 Harmon kids and the 2 Jugal kids. Checking out the animals. Went all the way from Texas to go to Bismarck, North Dakota to see a Texas longhorn at the zoo. That's what we did. Prairie dogs there. Good targets. Prairie dogs. They're not really dogs, they're rats. If they called them by their real name, they'd be prairie rats. Wouldn't have so many people trying to save their little asses then, I don't think. One of the goats got out here, so the couple of girls, zookeepers, are out there trying to catch the little goat. Good luck, girls. There comes a big old ram. Mountain goat got lost. How he got that far from the mountains, I don't know, but there he is. Over here you got the reindeer. They wandered a little too far south, unfortunately. They got trapped there in the zoo too. I think they sold food for these animals, and then the kids could feed the animals, if I remember right. Being very careful not to get their hands nipped, though. I can see that. They're looking for, what are they doing? They're looking for prairie dogs there, or what?
I don't know. What's in there? Whoops.
And there you got the owls. Ooh, ooh. It's me, Lisa and Lynn. Ooh. Here's Clyde. At the time, the largest bear in captivity. They were having devil of a time keeping old Clyde alive because of the heat there. A lot of people don't know it. Grizzlies were originally plains animals. You know, you think of them now up in the mountains and in the woods, but they were great plains animals, and nobody messed around with them. They were kind of the king of the hill. There goes Howard walking along with the kids toward the zoo line. That dog ran the zoo line. That's a pretty smart dog. One of the girls is checking them out. I think that might be Christine. Or Lauren, maybe the little one there is Christine, probably. Here's Howard checking for Indians outside his home. Checks for Indians every night before he goes to bed. Make sure he keeps 30-30 locked and loaded right there by the door in case any of them pop up unexpectedly. I made that up, but it sounded good. Kids riding bikes again, I guess. Here we are back in Norfolk on the flip-flop back to Texas. Dad and Mom's place. Tom's giving the girls rides on his bicycle, evidently. It's out in the front yard of Mom and Dad's place. Lynn's turn. Down the road they go. They got Gary's kids along with us there. He's got brother Gary. He was over visiting, evidently. Must have had a little get-together before we went home. Walking down the street comes Dad. I think he might have been to the Red Arrow to pick up a small jug of whiskey or something, or maybe he didn't drink much in those days anymore, but he might have been picking something up for the rest of us, I don't know, or he could have stopped. There was a Kentucky Fried Chicken down there, about the same place as the Red Arrow. Maybe he stopped there to get himself some chicken. I don't know what he's got there. He'd been shopping somewhere. Walked downtown. Now we're back in Dallas, back in Big D at 9958 Galway Drive. Looks like I'm putting together maybe possibly a heath kit there or something. The little dog is just resting along with me. Good old Dino. A can of Budweiser there. There's my electronics workshop. Built that power supply on the right there. They have back then a lot of World War II equipment was going on sale through the surplus outlets, and I used a lot of that for test gear. Some of it I built heath kits. Some of it I built from scratch, like the little power supply there. Great fun. A lot of that gear has disappeared over the years. Don't know for sure just exactly where it went. Probably gave it away. Some of it I still got. I still got that Roy 10. There's my ham station sitting in the back room there. Almost code in those days. I didn't do any AM or sideband.